This is Waylon. I was just waiting for it to go live on Facebook here and Instagram. Well, Happy New Year. Cheerful New Year, I should say. So we have two articles I wanted to share with you all. One I just wrote about the New Year, and it's about kind of how to handle resolutions. There's a big blowback on resolutions this year, which I think is overdue. And the other is the Buddha's 4 New Year's resolutions. So kind of if you've studied Zen, you may understand the kind of contradiction inherent in what I'm going to discuss. So number one, if you're making resolutions and they're founded on wanting to be better, on wanting to be perfect, on wanting to be even more perfect, wanting to be our best selves, often those won't last. And in fact, they can do some harm. They can set up this dichotomy between my messy, awful self, who is flabby and hasn't showered and is not perfect and is a disappointment to myself or my family or whatever. It gets kind of heavy, and versus the self that I wish I could be and that maybe I could be if I just go to the gym more or whatever it is. So the Buddha's 4 New Year's resolutions are a daily practice you can do every morning. Of course, the Buddha didn't call them New Year's resolutions, but they're a practice that the Buddha developed. There are 4 things you can just say, and they will, as you contemplate and practice them, they will transform your relationship to your own life. So from a Buddhist point of view, we don't try to be better necessarily. That can be a subtle or not so subtle form of self-aggression. But we do want to make friends with ourselves more, make friends with the parts of ourselves that we're not friends with. And then the irony is we can actually become better, kinder human beings, happier. And this is across every culture throughout history. I remember when I was young, I wondered, has anyone figured life out, right? But you read Henry David Thoreau, you read every different culture, and people have talked about don't chase happiness. Try to be of benefit. Try to be of service. Try to make friends with the tough parts of yourself, and then think about others first, and then you'll be happy. Every culture says that. So that's the first blog, the Buddha's 4 New Year's resolutions. We're putting that in the comments, hopefully also on Instagram. And then the second article I just wrote, and it's titled Do One Thing. And it's kind of based on, I hope I'm not depressing people, but it seems like we're in this middle of, or the beginning of the 6th extinction, which is the first extinction that is human caused. The amount of animal suffering we cause in the world, the amount of environmental degradation that is immediately coming back on us. We're destroying our rainforests. We're destroying ecosystems just willy-nilly. Even myself, I live in an eco-green home, and I realize, I'm anti-fracking, as a lot of us are, and I have a natural gas oven. I have natural gas heat, and yes, they're super efficient. They're new. But, it's hypocritical, and it's okay to be hypocritical. We're all hypocritical. None of us are perfect. Hypocritical often just means you're trying and you're not failing, or you're not being perfect. You're failing a little bit. And that's okay. We don't need to be hard on ourselves. But I think if you don't start this new year feeling, it's good to party and it's good to have fun and it's good to go crazy, if that's what you did, that's effing awesome. But it's also okay to feel your soft, tender heart and to feel the fact is that human beings are throwing ourselves at a wall, like a crash test dummy at 60 miles per hour, at 100 miles per hour. And to pretend that we're not doing so in 2019 isn't going to get us to a happier conclusion. So I want to work so that we can not hit that wall, so that we can learn to live in harmony, in better harmony with ourselves, which in many ways we have in the 20th century. Reduced wars, reduced famine, and hopefully we're having a equality awakening in terms of the genders, in terms of sexual assault and rape. But that awakening in every aspect needs to continue far more, and it needs to be, loving. And love is not just positive and passive. Love can be powerful, fierce, and it can be active. So I wake up today feeling like a little bit helpless. And so that's why I wrote that, or hopeless. That's why I wrote that Do One Thing article, because that Do One Thing article talks about, well, if we do feel a little hopeless and helpless, what can we do? And it leaves with a stat that I found incredibly, a study and a statistic that I found incredibly inspiring and re-inspiring, which I'll let you read if you want to read that blog, Do One Thing. So we put that in comments on Facebook and hopefully on Instagram. I'll go through comments and questions right now, but I've written everything I wanted to say in those blogs about the new year. You can see sleepy face. I have yet to shower. I have had my coffee and my cinnamon raisin toast and my organic banana. But I just wanted to come on here and just say hi and just hope that, while you have a wonderful new year, our new year is also based on being kind to ourselves and to others and to our planet. All right, if you have any comments, I will answer them or discuss them. So lots of happy new year wishes. One note on that, which I include in one of the blogs, but Trungpa Rinpoche talked about the meaning of happiness versus cheerfulness. And I think that's a wonderful distinction to think about. So check out those blogs. Deb, my friend said we are in the midst of a shift that will require patience and focus as we continually move forward in our enlightenment toward a more emotionally literate society. I think that's true in some ways, but, patience will always have to be exercised. Depends what we mean by patience. We're also out of time. So it's a little bit like telling Bruce Willis in Die Hard to be patient, everything will work out. We actually have to create the working out by our own actions. And we're not an action hero in a dumb yet fun action movie. We are a human being, hopefully a brave, vulnerable warrior who is living a real life in a real world where there are real consequences to humanity's exploiting one another and our earth. This is very cheerful, I'm sure, for all of you. All right. I'm going to see if there's anything on Instagram. Okay, Palak, I wanted to ask you if the metered paywall, so people on Elephant can read 2 or 3 articles historically, and then come back the next day and read more for free. That's like 14 to 21 articles a week, free. Beyond that, if you want to read more, you can subscribe. And historically, it was $1 a month, and now it's $3. It's gone up slowly. Yeah, it has helped us keep going. Basically, we encourage readers who value Elephant the most, who want to read Elephant the most, to value what you value. We've been trained by Instagram and Facebook to be the product, as it says, as the expression says, if it's free, you're the product. We don't view you, our readers, as products. So we view you as human beings, as equals, as readers, not as users, which is sort of a drug term. It's kind of a weird term that tech folks use. So yeah, we do ask people who want to read a lot of Elephant to subscribe, and that helps us pay our editors and our best consistent writers to do good work for you. So it's a virtuous circle. All right, folks. Hopefully I'm not missing any comments or questions. But yeah, Ashley, I'm with you. It's okay, just a reminder, it's okay to feel a little bit sad and hopeless. That's not my usual feeling on New Year's, but this year, in view of climate change, and that's what I addressed in an inspiring way at the end of Do One Thing. There's a little inspiring stat for all of you. So thank you so much, and big love to everybody. Have a cheerful 2019. And if you read that article, you understand the distinction between cheerful Those links should be in the comments.